Hello everyone. I am audible or not?
Audible, audible.
Yeah, okay. We will start the debate now. So now our topic is privatization is good or bad. So before starting the debate, I would like to share opinion given on a Quora website. I just found out some
Even I was checking the Quora same.
So I think that I should not tell the suggestion because you also check the Quora website and I also check the same.
Yeah,
Okay,
even I am reading right now. I'm actually opening a window of also Quora was reading.
okay. Still, I will say the opinion. I just saw the one opinion on a Quora website about the privatization. So it says that privatization is not bad always. To make it more clear about privatization, let's take an example of Indian bus transport system. Like
Swarya
when
wala.
what?
That was a Swarya opinions I have seen. I was actually reading that.
Yeah, so I think that I should not tell the opinion. Okay, let's forget it and let's start the debate. Okay, so anyone here to share the opinion on this topic?
Well, good good evening. I guess it's okay. Fine. So I would start with the opening comments, like on the topic privatization, good or bad. My opinion is basically privatization is done for the sake of doing good for a country, let it be a developing nation or a developed nation. And it is quite evident that a lot of countries have really done well after privatizing a lot of state-owned agencies or organizations or institutes, whatever they have. Like in recently, New Zealand had sold around a state-owned company for about $7 billion. Uh, if we not consider New Zealand, let it be Japan, Israel, Argentina, Iraq. These are some of the examples who have done really good after implementing the idea of privatization in the economic agenda. So according to me, privatization is it's actually serving well to a nation. So that's my opening comment.
Okay, Sondarya, you want to say something?
No, just Swara and please you also say like you become silent when I said that. So okay, please share the opinion. Swara, go ahead.
Sandhya, you go first, then I'll.
No, no, no. You have to go first.
Okay, okay. So, according to me, that privatization, I am not in favor of extreme form of privatization, because privatization, the main motive of the private companies is profit maximization. According to me, that there should be existence of public sectors also, so that they can think about the welfare of the people.
Like I have seen in like I have read an Quora website. So it is said that if privatization is not there, then there will be no competition between privatization and government sector. Like you see, many of the private buses, like you see in many of the private buses are like very well maintained. So the uh, many like in this that other government sir, like government buses are also doing good, like they are also in competition with private.
It will increase competition. Okay, it is good, but at the same time, it will lead to monopoly also. Just take
Can
the
you please
example of
give me an example of a monopoly that's still in the market?
One second. What is
just take
monopoly?
the
Monopoly
example.
means if there's a company which has reached its peak and there is no other competitor who can like compete that particular company, and the company is doing putting a price on the product whatever they wish to, because there is no one else to regulate that particular body. So that's monopoly.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Just take the example of this Geo.
Are you sure Jio is a
Even not
monopoly
Jio,
company?
Airtel also.
If Jio and Airtel both are you're claiming to be monopolist, then how can monopoly be there? Because the monopoly term with it just goes only with a particular company, just a single company. And if you consider Jio to be a monopolist company, then how come there is so much users of Vodafone, Airtel, Idea, and there are still users of BSNL? So Jio can't be
I'm
a
not saying that
monopoly.
Yeah, can I share
I'm not saying that
something?
Geo is, monopolist company. It can become.
I
It
think I had
can,
to
but it
share
haven't.
some. I think just
Assuming.
listen me. Just listen me. No.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Okay. So the first thing is that if you talk about the privatization is a second thing that come when there's a debate is happening. Like the main thing is that the railway is going to privatize. I think some sectors should need to be privatized, and some sector needs to be a government sector. Huh. Some sectors needs to be a government sector and some needs to be a private. I am talking about why the private institution should be there, because it's also like Akshay said that it increases the competition with the government sector, and even privatization is actually help to increase the quality of the product, because kahin na kahin we actually, even a school, even if parents want that their children want to go in a private school, why they want the government
But
of
there's a thing.
I'm completing, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, I will listen to all of you three. Just
Okay.
don't listen me.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
so why? So why this is like I have so much things I am telling. That's why I'm telling in small, small. Like why many thing is that many citizens believe that the privatization, private sector is more beneficial, more providing quality as compared to government sector, because कहीं ना कहीं हमारा belief होता है कि private ज़्यादा अच्छा. Even we going to privatize many other institutions, तो हमें कहीं ना कहीं क्वालिटी तो अच्छी मिलने वाली. ओके, बट हाँ, रुपीस रेज हो रहा है, पैसा रेज हो रहा है, इट्स नॉट अ बिग डील. लाइक द prices are increased, yeah, it's a good thing. Like prices are increasing because the quality is increased, it is a manageable. But in government sector, when you see that it is actually providing in a low cost, it is beneficial for those who come before the below poverty line. Okay, so yeah, I think privatization also helping some, of course, students, or I will say that many of us are benefited by the private sector, where because government jobs are can't get in so easily, like we can't get government jobs so easily. So with the private sector, the private institution, help the private company actually providing so much employment to those person who was not in a can't do a government job. So yeah, that's what, like privatization is a beneficial in somewhat way, but yes, privatization lead to capitalism. First of all, private Lenin Mark, I don't know you know Lenin Mark or not, but Lenin Mark said that privatization lead to capitalism. It means that the wages of the employer or anything that isn't will be fixed. The government can't interrupt in anything, so they will do anything they want, like increasing the wages, decreasing the wages, and even they will actually charge the taxes so much from the government. So yeah, it is a defect of the privatization. Yeah, that's what. No, go ahead.
But
Sorry for.
there comes a term disinvestment. With privatization, I like to introduce the term disinvestment, which says like the government holds the majority stake at the company or the organization, and the private body owns the minority stake. Like if a company is sold to a private body at 49% share, and the government holds 51% share, then the government has all the rights to take the decisions about what would be the next appraisal date or the appraisal rate of the way of the labors and all. So as and mostly the countries who have implemented privatization, most of them have done that they have introduced this disinvestment thing. So they have not entirely sold the property to the private company. What they have done is they have sold 49%, 40%, 30% of the company's
Yeah, some
stake or the
parts
share
of
to the.
them. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Akshay said that na, they saw some parts like if it sees about the transport system, some are privatized, some are public. Okay, so
Exactly.
yeah, because that government buses quality also increases because there's a private buses was there, so there's a competition, a healthy competition mila. There
And
was a healthy.
actually, and if you see that monopoly doesn't takes place in a government sector, let me give you an example of the APMCs, the Mandi. It is a government, kind of a government body, and it has shown what a monopoly or monopolist idealism can be. So, with the condition of the farmers, it's quite evident from the what the APMCs have done. Fine. So, government body can also be a, like, what should I say, a monopolist. Fine. So if we consider a private body to come and uh, like join the competition, or like put the price to the farmers, like this is the product, I'll give you this price. Then out of competition, the APMCs or mandis are bound to give a higher rate because they gotta compete and they gotta stay in the open market. And the moment you are introducing privatization, you are introducing the term open market. You're opening the market to everyone. Everyone can put their prices, bid, or like put the price. Fine. And about the thing, there's certain obviously there are certain things that shouldn't be privatized, like the defense sector, like the innovative sectors, like what should I say, the research and development organizations of the country, like the DRDO, ISRO. These are some things that shouldn't be privatized. Fine. And the point that you said, the moment a country introduces the privatization, it could be a capitalist. It could become a capitalist country, right? But the moment after 1980s, 1990s, the world has changed drastically. We have moved from a pen and paper to a digital world. Fine. So at that point, a capitalist idea is required, because you can't just sit at your home and go to a mail in the morning, work for a day, gets what you want. This can't happen all for an entire era. Private companies have to jump in because a government body can't provide food and shelter to everyone. Fine. If you talk about the jobs, how many jobs or how many vacancies can you create for a 130 crore population? Can you provide job to 130 crore population at the same time? You can't. At that point, private companies have to jump in.
But private companies are interested to invest in those areas which are already developed. Just take the example that private companies are interested to invest in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. What about what about other regions? It will lead to regional disparity also.
If you
So there should
you
be.
know Tata, and
Yeah,
I
I know
belong from
Tata.
West Bengal. I belong from West Bengal, and Tata was interested in building up their manufacturing hub in Shingul of West Bengal, and it's not at all developed, or it's not even it was not even a developing part of the nation. Fine, but they were interested about opening an hub over there. So how can that be a legit
I
point?
have a request. Can you please use simple words?
Okay.
Like even I was sorry. I know you are about to age, but I was not able to understand what you were saying. Like just use some simple word now, so I can understand.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Shwara. You are saying something.
Yeah, I was saying about regional disparity means private interest, private companies will invest in some states only, then there will be difference in the development level of the states.
But the thing is that now we all are talking about privatization, privatization. I think they are favor. Okay, we know. But thing is that now we are more than relief on the government. Like if you will see in a small or small caste person who is labor, who is doing small B grade work, like just like they are below poverty line person. The maximum time we have in India, we have not so much rich person, we have some more poor person than. So thing is that now you're talking privatization, you don't know, but government has actually given so much like a scheme for those who is poor. Like he has around so much like Shram Card Yojana. This is so much scheme is going on by the government, which is actually helpful for the helpful for the poorest person. And I think that privatization doesn't will do that, doesn't will gives this scheme that is given by government. Okay. And firstly, for privatization will help only certain amount of people who's actually good at business, like who has a money, like they have a financial background of strong. They will all go again, like they think that richer will go richer. Like in privatization, what will happen now? Richer will go richer and poor will become poorer. So yeah, go there should be a need of government something like to help those who are poor, because they are really on the they are living because of the government scheme. They have a scheme for food, like they can ration card scheme so that they get food. Private will not do that, private sector will not. Second is that they are providing labor of 5,000 1,000 per month for their work. Even third is that like there's so much thing like happening that they even provide their daughters to marry, like laborers can marry their daughter by not paying dowry. The government will give them like Kanya Yojana, Kanya Uthan Yojana. This is a so much scheme that is going on. This is helping the poor person, and if the privatization will come, where they will go, because they are supported
Fine.
by the governments.
I have a
Yeah,
point on
that's
that.
what.
Yeah, go
Like,
ahead.
yeah. So if you're saying that the governments are providing schemes and providing money and all the relief packages for the poorer, or the poor, or for peoples who are from the poorer section, right?
They
Now
have
tell me
majority
how
in
much.
India. They
Yeah.
are majority in India, so they are
Right.
most are below poverty line. You
Right. It
will
is
see that.
considered like more than 80% of the population in India is from the
Yeah,
BPL sector, right?
yeah, yeah.
Fine. Now I'll just give you certain data. We know that 5% population of India just pays the tax. Only the 5%, and based on that 5%, the remaining 95% of the population, or let me consider the 100% of the population, thrives on all the resources, all the packages that are being provided by the government. So there is a limited source of income for the government. Based on that limited source of income, how can the government always provide such packages and relief packages all the time? And instead of just always giving the packages, why can't we just empower a poor person to stand on his own feet, have a
Yeah,
good
so
job,
you are
and earn for
okay,
his
okay, okay, okay,
let me finish the point.
okay.
Earn for his own livelihood, instead of just taking money from packages, right? And now if you just consider, there's a company X the government holds, and its main motive is to manufacture a certain product which is used for certain basic things. Fine. Let it be a pipe which is manufactured by a government company X. Fine. So now there are three manufacturing hubs all over India, and the government is not like creating another manufacturing hub because they don't need it. They don't have the competition or the urge to build another manufacturing hub. So the amount of jobs created by those three manufacturing hubs is limited. The moment a private company enters, he holds that he gets the access to that company X. Is come this mindset is to increase the efficiency, increase the profit, and out of that he creates certain another manufacturing hubs, makes another manufacturing hub. Like from three, he makes it to nine manufacturing hubs. So now all the nine manufacturing hubs are hiring more and more people for the job. So no, now more and more people are getting empowered, they're earning their own bread. Fine. So this could be a positive point or an advantage of being privatized, isn't it?
Okay, okay,
But
okay. Yeah, all right, Swara. I think I had to actually interrupt. Like you said, Arga, that we need to empower the BPL poverty line person rather than providing, okay, something reliability or relieving change. That's what you
Yeah.
say, Arga? Yeah, so it means that you are against reservation, right?
I'm kind of.
And
yeah,
you are
but most of the
for
people in India, you know, okay, I'm saying most of the people in India are illiterate. They don't have skill, and in private companies, it is mandatory to have skills, and you should have knowledge about the technology and all. So
Yeah.
what about those people who are illiterate and they don't have any idea of how to use technology and all?
See,
So there
even an
should be some,
engineering student is unskilled. Fine. Even an engineering student is unskilled in today's. market. Fine. Because the syllabus or whatever we are being taught, it's all backdated. So the moment you enter a company, you are always given a training, and of course, based on that, you got to sign a bond, and that's some other stuff you would learn in your future days. So the moment you enter a company, you are always being trained for a month or 2 or 3, whatever it is. You are always being trained, and if you enter a good private company or an IT company or whatever it is, the amount the quality of the training you are being given, it's way better than what you have been taught. Even if you are being admitted to a private school or a private college, let it be an IIT, the training you are being given, it's way better than that. And I can pretty give you the guarantee, like if you are from an IIT, whatever you are studying is not at all relevant about what you will be doing after you join a job.
Just
The
take the
training is
example.
always given.
So, just take the example. There is a illiterate man who is, involved in agriculture, and you are asking him to work in industry. Do you really think he or she will be
Why?
able to
Why?
work in
Why?
company and all?
Why is he gonna work in a IT company if he's from the agricultural background? Like if we, like, instead of the APMCs, if we entertain a private company to like come and buy all his product with a fixed price, they're both decided. So he will be in his land, he will be farming, and he will be happy with whatever the price they have decided, and he will get that instead of whatever the thrashings and all what have he have been facing in the mandis and all. In
I
that
think
sense,
you are
privatization is
talking
good.
about that privatization is good in a somewhat way. Like that, what's you telling, Arga? And
Yeah.
Akshora, you are telling that you are telling that the government sector are actually important as private sector, right?
Yeah, I was saying that there should be, existence of both the sector. I am
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
against the private sector. There
yeah.
should
You
be,
are.
mixed kind of system. There should be existence of private sectors and public sector also.
I think there's a need to identify us. Like we need that some sector needs to be government sector, some sector needs to be a private sector because we can't go only for private. And what the other you were saying that the what you have taught in the college and you didn't get anything on the job. Yeah, it's the thing is that I think that they are teaching you not because of that you have to do the job because you feel go you just study anything and go for the any job, you will know that the study is not actually mattering. The thing is mattering that you will तुम काम कौन सा है, you will get to know about this thing कि you will, if you are not even studying IIT, you will get, if you are working on thing or you are training for getting something, you will get to know about this thing. So it's not because of something like that it's just an simple thing. And the thing is that you are both talking about the private and government. I think the not only privatization of government sector is included. There is also what is also called socio communalist. What's it? Can you someone get that? What is a communalist? Like China have adopted this thing. Like
Communist
Communism,
ideology.
yeah,
communism,
yeah, yeah.
communist ideology. Yeah.
Communism idea. Yeah, yeah. That it means that the
Yeah.
whole thing is actually governed by only a government. There's a nothing for I think citizens, right, Sora? Like that's what that means.
You support
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, China. Yeah,
yeah, China
yeah.
has.
In
You consider why they have this thing like they doesn't allow any person to interrupt in their thing. Is that government? If the government is a stronger, now there's a no need of privatization. If the government is going to be in power now, there's a no need of privatization in no sector. But now in
I
India,
have a
there's a need
question for
of
you.
BSNL sector, you can ask the BSNL sector needs to be privatized because in government is going in vain. But Air India, just take the biggest example, Air India. Like Air India needs to be privatized. Like you can take this. Like it's a actual example that organization should be some organization should be privatized. And you're talking about now privatization. Some sector is like some sector which some private sector which is initiative for the poor people. I have seen that there's so much private sector go for the to help poor people like even the mental person and the someone like who's have initiated to do that. The startups ideas, the now there's a student have they have a business idea. I think this needs to be get supported by government. A privatization institution should be supported by a government institution, and a government institution should be supported by privatization. It can't be go parallel. They have to work together to do that. And if and why talking about the communologists and China is that they haven't done anything, like they can't, the public ones can't do it because they are so empowered in themselves, like they don't need to, like they have a one party system. So it's like a dictatorship. But India, it is a democracy, so there's a need of the support. Like if the private sector is going and running, it can't be become successful without the support of government. Government interruption is required in private sector, and private in government sector there's a interruption of like a check balance system hona chahiye. Like what a private sector is doing, it check should be by government, and what the government is doing, it should be a check by the privatization institution. Look at, they can work together and make them, it will be more than something. Now I am supporting the privatization in somewhat way because there was a 3 to 4% GST was that time. But after the reform that is brought, is actually to 7 to 9% GST. That's only a idea that I get. So yeah, privatization is important, but it needs to be like only privatization or government can't be more successful. It needs to be get connected.
So
Yeah,
are you
and
like supporting the communist ideology of China or not?
No. I was just telling that if the government is
Okay,
good,
okay,
na,
okay.
if the dictatorship there is no, so if we are having democracy, what I was defining. Yeah, go ahead.
But, America or Israel or New Zealand, these are the certain countries, or Japan. They are
Can we
also
talk
having a
about
good.
India? Can we talk about
But
only
but
India?
if you gonna consider, if you like want to develop your own nation, you gotta see around. You gotta see your neighbors, how are they doing the thing.
Okay, we
yeah,
are, and
so
we have done, we from
so
early we
look,
are doing this.
Arga is saying that we should see our neighbors how they are doing. Just
Yeah,
take the
yeah,
example of just take the example
yeah.
of China. China's state-owned companies are doing really great job. And we have this list called Global Fortune. No, it's like I'm not getting. Yeah, Fortune Global 500 list. It is issued by the US. It is a top 500 list of companies who are making profit. So you can see in this list in 2020 there was 194 countries out of 500 which were from China, and out of 125 countries 94 countries were state owned companies. So just see how well they are doing. Their companies are doing, their state owned companies are doing great. So why not Indian companies can do good job?
Because the main
Because
thing with
there are
our
certain
problem with
things.
our company is that na, the main thing come with the company is that
But
na,
I think that's
uh,
not the problem. I think the problem behind
Main
India is
problem.
not doing good is corruption and the
Yeah,
less
yeah,
efficient people.
it's because of
yeah,
the own
according to, yeah, our our
because
government
of
is
the
not
support,
providing
like not supporting, not
financial support.
giving the raw material, like the factor that affect the a
No,
business, like a
but
good
the
setup should be
government,
there, a factory should be there, a raw material transportation system, a market system. Like there's just so much thing is need to be supported by the government, that when there will be a growth of the each and every small company, like a small scale industry can go so vastly. But because they need support and government didn't look at this, they just talk about the
in
electricity
2008,
house and this.
2011, and even around 2014 or 15, I don't remember, but the government has provided a huge amount to the BSNL, but still they haven't done any good.
Yeah,
Why?
that's why they need to be privatized. BSNL, why Air India needs to be privatized
Exactly.
because of this thing.
There are certain companies, with organizations which are needed to be privatized, but there are, and I agree, there are certain things that shouldn't be privatized, like the defense and all. These are the very critical matter, the most critical organization of a nation. They shouldn't be privatized. But and one more thing, you can't just entirely privatize an organization, because the moment you bring any reform or something, or tax reforms or anything, you can't just touch the company you have already privatized, or the organization you have already privatized. But then
Arga, just
there is a
imagine
huge.
that. Just
Yeah,
imagine that you are giving a government exam and you get finalized and you get job, and after 1 month it get private.
exactly.
Then,
That's one of the exactly. You have actually given a good point. So
yeah, I
instead
know.
of privatizing, like privatizing an entire company or the 100% share, it's not a good idea. Or even 51% of the share that would be privatized, that's even not a good idea. The best idea would be that the implementation of the disinvestment uh, thing, like 49% should be privatized. so
I
that
think
in
I
case
am not about the 49 50%. It should be like 100% should be government or private. Like both of them
Yeah.
should be 50-50, not 49 50. Like by 50-50, they have a
but
support of
at
each
that
other.
moment, but then if you think, then the monopolist thing can come, and
What is again a mono? Like where the
Oh,
monopolists come?
uh, see, if there is a company which plays a very key important role, like suppose there is a company, ISRO has a certain sub parts like PRL, SRC, SRL. Fine. The job of PRL, the physical is to and all the things that are used in making the rockets or missiles and everything that ISRO deals with. Fine. Now, suppose the government has privatized that PRL part of the ISRO, and after certain years, the head of that company increased the amount of a particular semiconductor, which is very important in making like GSLV 2, 3. ISRO is in a process of making GSLV 4, and they need in a that particular semiconductor at a huge amount, and the company decided to mark up the price to a certain level, and the ISRO can't just afford it. So in that sense, the privatizing the company entirely wouldn't be a good idea. So
Yeah, go ahead, Swara.
yeah. Yeah, I was saying this, that public sector should need reform today. It is not, yeah, it is not working good, but yeah, it should be reformed in a well manner. It should be given financial support also. And what I think, that upper limit of prices should be decided by the government, and the private companies should not be allowed to sell their products beyond that limit.
but the government
Because
government can't do that with a private company, and an entirely private company.
what Arga, can you repeat again?
The government bodies can't just do that with an entirely private company, like a hundred
Why?
Yeah.
percent private company.
Why, Argo?
Can the government set the prices of a television set? If you consider the mobile phone, there is a mobile phone, and the company sets the price to 30,000 or 40,000. Can the government jumps into the scene and set the price to 12,000 or 14,000? They can't, because it's a right of the company, and they are not even the government can't dare to touch the company about the components they have used, the name, amount of the price of the components that you have used, to sum up that and give a price. The government can't just do that. That's an Information Protection Act of 1990s or 1980s.
So then it will lead to hike in prices. There will be
Exactly.
inflation. There will be increase in
I think
prices.
Exactly.
it's like this is a stereotypes that that privatization leads to the inflation of good items. Not this is not a thing. It's totally depend of company. Like you know, have you seen that movie Udan? There was a Go India, Go Air India, where they provide a cheap, where if small poor person can afford a flight. Go Air India have provided it. It was a private sector. It was a way
But
better
is
than
it
the government
in
sector. They provide them at a so low cost and provide all the facilities and all the health checkups, like all the health measure have there, and they provide like they are providing tickets. I think no, it's a ban, not ban. I
is
think
it
it's a
still in
stop.
operation?
Huh?
Is it still in operation?
No, no, it is in there. So it was
Exactly.
by a Udan, and no, it's not because exactly not because the company didn't grow. It's not because of that. It was because of the owner personal reason that was go shut down. I literally know why they shut down, but yeah, they are actually going so good. Like they're providing them. They are giving the providing them the small amount of by small amount of money, and the growth the profit they have made is so large. Like from the small thing they have made so much. Like I was saying the movie that was a based on, like they missed so much profit on this thing, and they even providing them in a low cost. Like it's like no, a private sector should also be actually if there's some money in there for a private, like a person want to start a startups or a private sector, and he has the money, like he can invest in a good way, like giving the wages of employee high and making that item low price. It is a main motive for the if a private country is doing that, there's a no need of the government sector in I think nothing like if a private sector is doing that, but now the private sector is going for the only profit. That is not a bad thing, but yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, go ahead. All.
Jio did the same, like for the month of in 2018, 18 or 19, I guess. In the month November, they gave free data and to callings and all to everyone. And after 3 or 4 months,
Geo,
they started
Geo.
charging. Yeah,
Actually, no,
Jio.
they have no. It's not only happening in Geo. Like you have seen, I'm giving you so much personal reason. Like there's a supply pani water that come up. You know what is supply water that come on the
Mm,
time? Like yeah,
yeah.
everyone know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know that now. Actually, we have the motor like where electricity we get water by sometime. But now the government are saying that they are going to provide supply water for free. Okay, but what will happen after 2 to 3 years? They will going to charge them, and we are going to give because the motor उस time तो फिर धीरे धीरे हट जाएगा. Like the motor will be not there. Like जब supply का पानी free में मिल रहा है तो we are going to like motor का हटा दो. Then 2 से 3 साल बाद में क्या होगा वो कहीं न कहीं हट जाएगा और वो प्राइवेट हो जाएगा और उससे हमें पैसा और वो ना वाटर के लिए भी चार्ज करने लगे दैट इज़ हैपनिंग। गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर आर आल्सो गोइंग टू मेक अ मनी or profit, okay? So yeah, this is what happened. Like government sector are not are also going like a private sector. They are doing like a private what private sector do. So I think there's a need to be a I think what no, I don't know about what private and government, but there's a need of reform in any institution, like it's private or government. Government also needs to be like and actually taking that they are providing electricity free for some like before 5 to 6 years. I don't know, remember you not, but they are in our where I live, they are providing free electricity before 5 to 6 years. Now they are charging. You know why? Because they are the going privatize not even going private like they are like not the electricity yeah the electricity the south india that was the south indian electricity of our like southeast indian electricity has now converted to private. That's why they are charging and now the water is going the वो supply water institution जो वो provide करते हैं वो भी प्राइवेटाइज होने वाले like they are doing this thing which is not good like बिजली के लिए पैसा लगाना is not a good thing यार. They are privatizing this thing how they are below poverty line person who can't afford this thing will get electricity. It means that they doesn't have electricity and the water system like supply water they are giving free, but after 2 to 3 years they are going to actually charge on water even. So what is doing that they are doing, they are only privatizing because of the profit they are getting from the big companies that they are partnership with them. So what is happening with government?
But the thing is, in order to produce electricity, it costs crores and
But they
crores
are
of rupees.
providing the free electricity. It's not about who is
But
everyone is
you
giving
can't.
tax
There
now.
is a
If someone if
see.
everyone is giving tax and there's a no it's not our problem, okay? If the so much cost is going to given by government, we are not responsible that you have to give. Government are actually using them in a black money like just to drop the just make just गवर्नमेंट का काम है करप्शन कम करना तब जाके पैसा उनके पास आएगा, वो हमारा काम नहीं है। आई थिंक इज दैट जितने भी पैसे लग रहे हैं वो वेलफेयर पे ही तो लग रहे हैं, वो पैसा जाना कहाँ चाहिए, वेलफेयर में ही जाना चाहिए। और जब ये वेलफेयर में ही लग रहे, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्री एक वेलफेयर का काम है और उसमें नहीं पैसा लगे तो गवर्नमेंट कहाँ लगाएँगे पैसा? और मतलब what where they will get money? If the money is funded fund आता ही है because to help poor person and the poor person are the government who is actually helping poor person like they have to provide the electricity, they have to provide the water, they have to provide the house. Even three things are important for poor person and even they are charging for that even. So how you suppose that it is going to be good? लाइक मनी पैसा तो पैसा लगना भी कहाँ चाहिए? मनी मनी मतलब पैसा तब लगेगा कहाँ जब वो इसमें नहीं लगा रहे हैं तो। पैसा लगता है तो
See,
लगेगा,
the
तो
thing
पैसा
is, the
लगाना भी
amount of income for the government, the source of income of
no,
the government is
they
very much limited.
no,
We
it's
think
they
it's
are
none of our
limited
concern.
because no,
See,
this
we are
is
think it's
this
none
is
of our
limited
concern.
because of them, okay? If it is limited, so where are you going to actually invest? It is will be actually invested अगर limited है तो वो पैसा कहाँ इन्वेस्ट होना चाहिए ज़्यादा? वो एक लेवल ऑफ सिटीजन्स को मतलब लेवल ऑफ लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड को इंक्रीज़ करने के लिए होना चाहिए गवर्नमेंट का, ना कि कहीं और। मेनली तो हमारा फोकस
Yeah,
गवर्नमेंट का यही होना चाहिए ना। अगर वो यही नहीं इन्वेस्ट करेंगे तो वो फिर कहाँ करेंगे? दिमाग में तो अपने करेंगे नहीं।
So
yeah.
there are the
Just take the
few things.
example of
या गो अहेड
Yeah,
yeah,
सॉरी।
go ahead, go ahead.
just take the example of Delhi government. In Delhi, electricity bill is very low. ठीक है, तो वहाँ पे क्या होता है कि गवर्नमेंट ने ऑलरेडी द गवर्नमेंट हैज डिसाइडेड द अपर लिमिट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल्स. तो
But
जो
But
the
the
वहाँ
number
thing,
of the amount of
what does that
blackouts or
mean?
electricity cuts, if you consider, if you see, it's way more than any other states in Delhi.
What is a 1 unit charge or like where you live? What is
no
a
no
1 unit?
not 1 unit charge, upper limits, upper limit charges.
मतलब क्या हुआ?
मतलब कि गवर्नमेंट ने पहले ही फिक्स कर लिया होता है कि पर्टिकुलर, मतलब इससे ज्यादा बिल नहीं आना चाहिए, समझ रहे हो?
Okay, they will cut out the electricity if it is so
Yeah, yeah,
high.
yeah.
Yeah,
Their
that is true.
electricity bill is completely, there is
Yeah,
kind of
limited,
very
like you
low.
can
Yeah,
use in a stock.
yeah,
ये दे like
yeah.
हमने उन्हें स्टॉक में दे दिया कि उतना ही यूज करना है. You can't actually exceed from that stock. Yeah, that is the
No,
thing only.
no, no. They are, you can use electricity the
But
way you
again,
want to
extra
use,
charge.
but the bill जो है वो उसकी एक अपर लिमिट पहले ही डिसाइड हो चुकी है, वो उससे ज्यादा नहीं आएगा, मतलब बिल
Okay,
वहां पर
कितना
बहुत
भी
ही
यूज
लो
कर
है.
लो.
या
Okay.
या
Yeah, that is a good
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी
thing.
इज,
Yeah.
या
Even but in Bihar, where I live, there's a thing that there's a 1 unit charge 6 rupees, and we are actually thinking, and the south no, it's a private company, the electricity providing, and they are providing 1 unit charge 6 rupees. Now you can imagine 6 to 7 rupees cut out for 1 unit, and 1 unit actually get used even in 10 in 1 hour, like 1 unit we had taken. So did you consider that how they are getting money? Like government के पास कितना पैसा है तुम्हें पता शायद नहीं, तो you are telling in limited. No, they are not in limit. They are getting like टिकट से उन्हें ऑनलाइन टिकट्स करते उनसे वो टैक्स लेते हैं. They are getting टैक्स जितने भी उन्होंने प्राइवेटाइजेशन से पार्टनरशिप करके रखी है. They are getting so much profit या government, but they are using it somewhat for them, not for us like a poor person, like a middle class person. They are not using for them.
But at the beginning of the discussion, you just said the governments are actually providing many relief packages and they
Yeah,
are
yeah,
actually
yeah,
giving it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm talking that government are also going like a private, like they are giving their institution. The scheme is other thing, institution is other thing. Arga, scheme is
government
other
is
thing.
not doing good, there should be, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I am saying, that there should be reform in government sector,
yeah. They
because
should not like
government sector is something which is accountable to
reform
the
का मतलब
people.
ये नहीं कि प्राइवेटाइजेशन ला दो. Reform
या
का मतलब ये नहीं
उसी
कि
में ही रिफॉर्म
प्राइवेटाइजेशन कर
करो,
दो.
उसको गवर्नमेंट
उसी
रहने दो,
को
बट उसी में ही रिफॉर्म करो.
रिफॉर्म करो,
या द
वही
That
करो.
has
आर्गव
been tried up for 100 of times, but that hadn't
Yeah.
worked
Argo
well.
Argo was saying that ki there are so many electricity cuts in Delhi.
Okay. Okay.
I live in Himachal Pradesh. In Himachal Pradesh also there is so many electricity
Yeah.
cuts.
Yeah, it's happened.
यहाँ
But
पर
there
तो
is
क्या
a
होता है
reason
कि
for Himachal Pradesh. But there is a
यहाँ
reason
पर
for Himachal
look,
Pradesh
यहाँ
This
electricity
is
पर
the
cuts.
excuses for Himachal Pradesh, but when government is say something we are not providing electricity, there's
No, 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 no,
only excuse for them. Okay.
no, no,
या
no.
just take the
Actually,
example,
like
यहाँ
I
पर
am
क्या
an
होता है,
electrical engineer,
सी
kind of.
सी सी सी
Go
look
ahead.
what I'm
Go ahead.
saying. या यहाँ हिमाचल में क्या होता है कि यहाँ विंटर्स के टाइम में देर इज स्नोफॉल, और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी मैक्सिमम टाइम यहाँ पर होती ही नहीं है. बट वट हैपन, जब हमें बिल पे करने की बारी आती है, तो तो वो बिल कहाँ से आ रहा है? वी आर नॉट यूजिंग इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, ओके, इन विंटर्स, तो वो बिल उतना ज्यादा
हाँ, इतना पैसा
कैसे आ
क्यों
रहा
जा
है?
रहा है?
मतलब जस्ट
कहाँ जा
एकदम
रहा है?
इट्स अ,
गवर्नमेंट को जा रहा है.
या इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ वो रेवेन्यू जनरेट करने के लिए.
Bus. And now
See,
what
in
you saying,
winters,
Argo?
the maximum amount of unit electricity is consumed. If you don't have a geyser or something, it's max to max 50 to 60 units. If it's around so, then
50
it's
to
quite
60 unit. You are actually,
exactly.
even we
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have so much geyser or any electricity. We have just TV
It is,
and
it is, it is,
even
it is.
TV and fan or a small freeze, and even just a no, it doesn't take. Yeah, it's just because we get around 200 to 300 electricity. You are
We
thinking
think
that
at
something
actually, see,
200
actually the
and
thing is,
even
we
are you
think that
accept
we are
that?
not using the appliances.
One
The
second,
unit
one
shouldn't be
second.
that much.
Okay, okay.
But
No, you are saying that we shouldn't use that way. Okay. So just if okay na, just okay, we are not using. Just think about the poor people. दे आर गेटिंग लाइक
definitely the
उनके घर पे
people.
पास में क्या होता होगा, उनके पास भी एक पंखा होता होगा, एक टीवी होता होगा, और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा वो होता होगा, फ्रीज़ होता होगा, ओके? कि सिंपल मिडल क्लास पर्सन, एक पुअर जो ज़्यादा पे नहीं कर सकता, वो उसके पास ये तीनों तो होते ही हैं, ओके? फ्रीज़ तो कभी किसका, तो जब उनका जब 200 से 300 तक का आ रहा है, हाउ यू सपोज़ दैट हाउ यू सपोजिंग दैट ओके हम
If
कम
a
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी यूज़
fridge
कर रहे हैं, मतलब
costs
इसका मतलब क्या है?
around in today's era, a fridge costs minimum around 8 to 9,000 or 10,000, if I consider
क्या
a,
व्हाट इज़
a
8 to
basic
9,000
fridge
टिल?
amount, a basic fridge amount, a refrigerator's
Rupees
amount. while you buy it costs around 9,000 to 10,000, fine.
Okay, okay.
And TV set, if you consider, it's nearly around 7 8,000, the lowest
I
minimum cost. If
Okay,
I
okay,
consider, now
okay, okay.
if a family can afford that thing
Okay,
at
your
a
family.
month.
No, no, no. Thing is that na, they
See,
are
if you are
given.
considered the
Are
poorer
they
part
just
of the
listen?
section,
Just
look.
listen.
If
Are
you
they
are
just
considered the
listen that you
poorer
are
section
taking
of
that
the part, the
7,000
basic
if they are not
requirement,
buying in one time? They are not buying in one time. They actually give the stock like वो फैमिली ना क्या करते हैं वो ना 3 से 5 साल का सेविंग मनी यूज करते हैं उसके लिए दे
see,
नॉट
the
एक्चुअली
thing
यू
is,
हैव अ
if you
मनी लाइक
consider
अ
the
बैंक
poor
अकाउंट
family,
कर दिया
their main objective in their life is to basically educate their son or educate their daughter or educate their children and get a food, a meal a day, 3 meals a day. Fine. There would be
बस दैट्स
such
व्हाट
so much
या और
fascinations about
दे आर
the.
or even you are saying that the 7 to 8 like you are just have calculated this thing just imagine that you're like I literally don't know about your condition but just imagine that a person who is actually doing a factory में वो काम कर रहा है like and his wife ना पैसे save करते तो he just buy a TV because after 6 to 7 years like when they have a
Okay,
child like उन्होंने TV bought किया okay
okay,
उन्होंने
okay,
बाय किया और उन्होंने वो फैन बाय किया, बेसिक चीज़ें हैं। फिर उन्हें ना लगा कि फिर 5 से 8 साल, 10 साल बाद जब उन्हें पैसा लगा कि हो गया, तो उन्होंने सोचा चलो फ्रिज भी खरीद लेते हैं, खाना खराब होता है, ओके। सो
okay,
ये 3 चीज़ बेसिक चीज़ हमारे घर में रहती है, ओके। एंड नॉट
okay.
थिंक दैट अचानक गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया कि ज़्यादा तो हम लोग यूज़ कर नहीं रहे, वो कितना वो लोग यूज़ करते होंगे, आई डोंट थिंक ज़्यादा यूज़ होता होगा। बस हाँ, पंखा, बल्ब ये सब जलता है, तो ना
A fridge operates
हाँ,
24 hours a
no,
day.
okay, just 20 no way. Who said that the 24 hours fridge operated? Even in
At
my
the
house
least, it
only
works around 20 24 hours because you just
no, this only lasts for
generally.
if there's a milk is in a fridge na, then it is going to start. We never use that. If there is a someone milk or
Maybe
something,
see,
if
it's
I
like
know where you
the
live, it
thing
can be
changes
a
from
different
person to
condition.
person.
It can be a different condition for you but where I live where I have seen that where I go like I know my neighbors like they use I know that the poor person are living how they will afford 2 to 3 thousand for such a small thing like they have a TV and even it
Two
means
three
that
thousand
they
for what?
can't like you just think that the government is giving so much charging money by
Two three
giving their
thousand for
private
a month bill, for a month bill.
yeah 2000 even more than 2000.
Seriously?
Yeah, just come and we will. I am going to send my monthly bills. Like it go from to 600 to
If
300.
that's
Like that
so,
is,
if that is so, then the company is doing not good. You got a file a complaint and all. If that
but
is
we
so.
can't. There's a private sector which is partnership with government. Okay.
You can. Well, while
Yeah.
after the Amphan, I'm from West Bengal, and if you know, Amphan was a storm that hit our state, and after that, the CAC, the one that provides electricity, then
हमारे बिहार
they
में ये सब
spiked
नहीं
the
होता है.
electricity amount to such height because they what they told like they got a manage or cope up all the amount they have lost during the thing during the storm.
What
So
You know
is
they
what they
what
say, what they say, this kind of problems also happen, in my home also. What they
yeah.
say when we go to, जब आप उनके पास जाते हो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जो वहां पर बैठे होते हैं, then what they say, there might be problem in your meters, you should change your meter.
और चेंज होता तो और ज्यादा पैसे आने
you know
लगते.
Hi,
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
never
what
they
did
West
used
that.
to say
Bengal,
these kind of things.
Yeah,
Then
they
the
said
what
that
what
we
the
na,
people
focus
that
of
your
West
meter
Bengal
is
we did, we
actually
just
getting
filed a
low.
complaint. We just what we did the focus of
It is not easy that
see
that
see
is
see.
not
it
so
will
easy.
it will also
That
it
is
is also a money game.
yeah.
It is
Even they will
obviously a
say
money
that
game.
that yeah they will get money when they change. Yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah, it is
Even
obviously a money game.
yeah,
But I'll give
even
you
the
another example. I'll give you another example. There are two electricity boards that works in West Bengal. One is the West Bengal State Electricity Board, and another is the CSB,
I
Calcutta
think this
Electric
is
Supply
could be a
Corporation.
hand
Fine.
of central government for providing electricity.
Central
Like
government
because
can't
things
because
have
in
a different way.
1984, if you know, but in 1984 there was a
Even I
blackout in
don't born
entire
on
North
that time.
India.
Even I
See,
don't
even
born in that time. You
I
know
know,
how.
even I was not born at that time. In 1984 and 1985, there was an entire blackout in the North India and Eastern India because the Central Electricity Board. that used to be that used to provide the electricity uh, due to huge peak in usage of electricity, because they provided free electricity for a day or something, and the farmers over there they started using irrigation pumps to a certain height that that caused the increase in the frequency level of the electricity generators, and that caused a blackout. And the government sector that was actually dealing with the electricity distribution, they have to shut down the company, the organization, because it weren't able to like continue their job. Fine, the central government at that moment withdraw their hands from this sector, and that moment it was decided that the states would provide electricity to the households of the state citizens and all. So now there is a West Bengal electricity board in India, in West Bengal. Sorry. So after Amphan, for a month or two, the West Bengal electricity board was shut down, and the ones that were using electricity, they were the ones they were getting electricity from the West Bengal board. They for a month they were in dark. There were no electricity for a month, and there was no one to whom they can question. But the private company CSC, they provided the electricity, but they raised the prices after certain time, after so many complaints and all. They again put the prices to normal and all. So in a way, like if you consider the competition or a market or a company to survive, private company to survive, there always a thing like you gotta provide the service, right? You always have to provide the service, but that's not a lookout for the central or the state government agency or the organizations. Their only lookout is either I'll get the money or the fund from the government, and I'll thrive on that. My employees will get the money. I don't have any headache to like fill my vacant places or hire new employees. I don't have those headache. I don't have any competition. I don't have any headache to increase my efficiency and all. So I'll just go on like this, and that's happened with BSNL, that happened with Air India, that happened with
Yeah,
like CMC. The
both
CMC,
those.
the one was responsible for educating the or skilling the youth of the nation. Finally, CMC was handed over to Tata. So this is the thing. In order
You know what
to
happened
make
with
the services good, in order to make the services fluent and praiseworthy, you gotta make a certain part of it privatized, because you gotta put the thought in your mind that if you are not working, if you're not efficient well, you are not going to thrive in this market, in this open
Okay,
market.
yeah, Swara, what are you saying? Say.
Yeah, I was saying that in 1953 this Air India was nationalized. Means the government became the owner of Air India. So from 1953 to 1970, it was under the government control. It was doing really great job. But after 1970, what happened? It started declining. So what I think the major thing for its decline was, before 1970, it was under the hands of this JRD Tata. And after that, the heads of this India changed, and those who don't have knowledge about that particular field, they become the heads. तो जब जिसको उस फील्ड के बारे में नॉलेज ही नहीं होगी, जब वो उसके हेड बनेंगे, तो देयर विल बी मिसमैनेजमेंट ऑफ थिंग्स. तो
Not
जिस
misidentified, it is actually the going to be like वो ना खुद के पैर पे पत्थर मारने वाला बात है। एयर इंडिया के पैर पे खुद ही पत्थर मार लिया because
या
those, yeah, even the thing is that now privatization, or just can we talk about the conclusion, like it's over, like it's actually 1 hour happened.
नो आई वाज
Well,
सेइंग दैट इन 2007 व्हाट हैपेंड, जो गवर्नमेंट
Yeah,
ने क्या किया कि एयर
हाँ,
इंडिया और इंडियन एयरलाइंस को मर्ज कर दिया, ठीक है. उसके
yeah,
बाद उनको लगा कि जो ये इसका डिक्लाइन हो रहा है, मे बी हाँ ये इसको मर्ज करके हमें रेवेन्यू मिल जाए,
वो
और
दोनों मिल गए, वो दोनों चले गए क्या?
नहीं, गवर्नमेंट को ऐसा लगा, बट व्हाट हैपेंड, उनको मर्ज करने के बाद भी ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ, तो गवर्नमेंट ट्राई टू ओपन न्यू फ्लाई रूट्स. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ
एयरलाइन
ओपनिंग न्यू रूट्स, गवर्नमेंट उसी सेक्टर को इम्प्रूव करने की कोशिश भी कर
improve
सकती थी ना,
कर सकते
उसी
वो
में इन्वेस्टमेंट
कहीं भी
करके
कर
उसी में
सकते या
the
कुछ
thing in
एफिशिएंट लोगों को.
वो
2007, the Air
हमेशा
India
हमेशा चूज़
declined. See, the thing because of which Air India was not able to thrive in 2007, because the Air India's head, they like put a put up a tender in front of the government, like we need four airplanes in order to thrive, and instead of four, the government gave them eight of the airplanes. Fine. And that costed around 80,000 crores. Fine. And the moment they got eight, out of the eight, the only two of them were operable. Like they were operating on two because, uh, like if you're running an like aviation company, what you do, 50% capacity of your airplanes are operated and 50% is kept as a backup. Fine. So the Air India had asked for two because they want to operate two of the airplanes, and two were about to be kept at backup. But the moment the government gave them the amount of the charges went up, and the company were under a debt of more than 60,000 crores. Fine. So that's all again coming back to corruption. That's all again coming back to
Yeah,
corruption.
Yeah,
If the
yeah,
government had
yeah,
corruption.
taken
that's
the right step,
corruption.
instead of giving eight, they have only given four of the airplanes. The Air India would have thrived and they could have done well till by today. But under the debt of 60,000 crores, they couldn't have done well.
Yeah, it is actually the lack of support of government, I think.
Exactly. You
Yeah,
are
Yeah,
giving
it
corruption,
is the
more
corruption.
than
lack
you are
of the
required.
support of government and the corruption and all the
Yeah,
even
even in the
that.
private sector, we can see corruption. Even in private
Yeah,
sector
even
also.
private. No, even you're not
But
talking private. Even in small cotton industry, even something someone is operating, there is a corruption. Corruption is like everywhere, and it's actually lead to decline of something. Like if a business is declining, if a mental person is declining, it's because of the corruption. Like, and the thing is that government need to bring changes in privatization, even in their sector also, and government need to get an idea that uh, changes are important. Like, you can't do and I can't carry something which is coming from early and custom. So yeah, this is the thing that should be go government should actually feel, not go Aishwarya or Argus.
Yeah, yeah, both sectors should need reforms, and there should be
Yeah,
the as you said, that there should be system of checks and balances, and
yeah, check
both
and
sector
balance.
are important for development. There should be existence of both the sector, and both sector, should be reformed.
well, my thoughts about the conclusion would be private privatization is quite needed, and more I would prefer is the disinvestment thing, like 51% majority stakes would be with the government, so that the reforms or regulations or the laws would the government would implement or put on on the companies or on any organizations and all, the government would be able to do so. The private companies wouldn't have the rights to oppose those rules or laws which are in for the sake of the citizens, or the for the welfare of the citizens. So in that way, privatization is needed for a certain section of the organization, leaving like defense and all. So in that way, privatization is needed, but with certain restrictions.
Yeah, hectic.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah,
should
we had this
look.
conversation.
We can
I
think about next topic also.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the
Yeah, yeah,
same.
yeah, yeah. Just discuss about the next topic. I think it is
So
gone to
you
sleep.
discuss about the next topic now. Now, but what will
Yes.
be the conclusion?
Conclusion will be that the
We
government
can't
and the
we
private
can't
sector need
completely do
to.
the privatization.
No, no, no. Government and private sector needs to have a reform, like and has Sora said and me said that it need to be brought some reform, and the government sector only by solving problem any problem by going privatization, just browse some reform even in government sector so that it will be beneficial. And yeah, even the Arga said that these investment, what you said that 50%, the
Disinvestment.
major, yeah, disinvestment, the majority percentage, if something, if government and private sector is participating in someone institution like partnership in Korea, so it should be like a majority of the power should be in government and some power should also be for the private sector so that it can balance and even a check and balance होना चाहिए गवर्नमेंट कि जो भी प्राइवेट सेक्टर करे उस पे गवर्नमेंट का चेक हो कि तुम ये गलत करो ये सही करे ये गलत करे और जो गवर्नमेंट कर रहा है उस पे प्राइवेट सेक्टर कहो कि अच्छा तुम ये भी गलत करे तुम वो गलत करे सो इट इज अ कंक्लूजन अब एक
Yeah,
छोटा
private sector should be there to generate profit, and government should be there to, you know
हेल्प
regulate the
to
profit.
make, yeah, to use that profit to for the welfare of people.
Yeah. Profits, making profit is
Yeah,
one bad thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Profit is
let's choose, let's decide next
Okay,
topic.
okay, no conclusion.
yeah.
Akshay, conclusion.
Okay, okay. I think
Oh,
that what Swara said, it's a perfect conclusion in short, and this will be the our final conclusion.